While responding to the Liberals' affordability announcement today, Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre spoke about rising prices in Canada and blamed Prime Minister Trudeau.
Cap government spending and cut government waste so that we can bring down the inflationary deficits and taxes that have caused the problems in the first place. Eliminate the carbon tax to bring down gas and grocery bills and to bring a net savings to families who are paying more under the tax than they get back under the rebates. Cancel the increases to payroll taxes and incentivize municipalities to speed up and lower the cost of building permits so we can get millions of new houses.
And the new Conservative leader is shoring up his team before Parliament returns next week. And Pierre Poilievre has appointed former party leader Andrew Scheer to serve as opposition leader in the House of Commons. Longtime Conservative MP Tom Uppal and first-term counterpart Melissa Lantsman will serve as deputy leaders. And for more on what's next for the Conservative Party with Pierre Poilievre as leader and more on his populist approach to politics, let's bring in journalist Justin Ling. Justin, good evening. First off, we do have to say that he was elected. He got 68% of his party's vote, so that's kind of an overwhelming majority saying this is what we want.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. It's very clear, and it's been tremendously clear, I think, through the majority of this race, that the Conservative Party wants Pierre Poilievre. His popularity in the party is quite clear. I think every single opinion poll of even just party supporters, not just member supporters, favor Pierre Poilievre, have stronger positive feelings about him than the rest of the country. I think it's quite clear that he is their man. I mean, his acumen at signing up members and convincing existing members and soliciting donations, I think has only kind of bolstered the idea that, at least amongst Conservatives, he's incredibly popular.
Okay, so Justin, let's go over Poilievre's political history, just to get everybody on the same page, especially as he pitches himself to working class Canadians.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not being cute when I say he doesn't really have much history beyond politics. I mean, this is a political animal. He has been a member of parliament since his 20s. Even before that, he was deeply involved in politics and political organizing. He has lived and breathed politics basically his entire life. He's never really had, to be totally honest with you, a working class job. Now, he grew up in an adopted household. He actually spoke on election night when he won his leadership race about how his single mother, he's actually reconnected with her. She actually came out to his victory party. So he has an interesting upbringing, but in terms of his adult life, he's been in politics the entire time. He served briefly as a minister of state under the Harper government. His real claim to fame there was introducing a piece of legislation that was derided by critics and experts as an attack on Canada's election system. It was so acrimonious that the Harper government did something it rarely did, and admit defeat and retreat, even though they had the votes to pass the bill. And since then, he has been one of the, I would say, one of the most aggressive orators for the Conservative Party. Some have likened him to an attack dog. He's been incredibly willing to go toe-to-toe with any minister, the Prime Minister, any of his political opponents, and you saw that in his own leadership race.
Okay, so Justin, moving the conversation along, looking at Poilievre's populist approach and, either directly promoting or flirting with, a number of far-right conspiracy theories, including those spread by members of the Freedom Convoy.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, they are not particularly coy about what his strategy has been since day one. He has reached out to the Freedom Convoy itself. He came out to shake hands and do fist bumps with the convoy when they were still occupying the streets of downtown Ottawa. He has adopted policies that make them very happy, including a ban on vaccine mandates for COVID-19 across the board. He has since talked about supposedly the dangerous influence of the World Economic Forum and said he would ban his ministers from going if he were to be elected. He has attacked the Bank of Canada, saying he would fire the governor, making certain conspiracy theorists who have sort of bizarre ideas about the nature of our monetary policy very happy. And he has, even most recently as his election night, attacked the woke ideologues supposedly behind our government. He has either through dog whistle or outright conversation, appealed to not just the right flank of his own party, but the right flank of the country and those who vote for Maxime Bernier's People's Party. They have made no secret that this is their strategy. They think that this base of sort of hard right Canadians is their path to victory. They have made very clear, and I think publicly, but also in the organizers I've spoken to, that they're not going to moderate now that he's leader. They've looked at his two predecessors, Andrew Scheer and Aaron O'Toole, and basically concluded that their attempts to moderate were total failures. So Pierre Poilievre is going to keep being who he was during that leadership race. He's going to keep appealing to that right flank, energizing them. He's going to keep appealing to those who came out for the Freedom Convoy. And he's going to keep trying to win back or win over some of those voters who come out for Maxime Bernier's People's Party.
And Justin, as we wrap up, let's take a look at, what this means for, not only just the future of politics right here in Canada, but also on a global scale. Poilievre is very young. He's only 43 years old. And then you have a lot more conservative parties coming into power in a lot of countries that haven't really been like that, such as Sweden.
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly it. I mean, I think what Poilievre's strategy here is to try to channel that populist anger into what he thinks is something productive. The idea is that it's better to bring in those People Party supporters than to leave them outside the tent, right? That beating Trudeau is worth harnessing those perhaps folks who believe in conspiracy theories, folks who may flirt with extreme ideologies. The problem is, around the world, we've seen this fail time and time and time again. Look at the Tory party in the UK. They've basically been taken over by the UK Independence Party and are constantly cannibalizing their leaders. In Sweden, the moderate party years ago made a pact with the Swedish Democrats and now find themselves third place behind the anti-immigration, frankly, white supremacist Sweden Democrats. Ditto in Italy. You've seen the same thing in Germany with the rise of the Alternative for Germany. You've seen it time and time again around the world, most notably, of course, in the United States. The Republican Party has been wholesale taken over by a conspiratorial ideology that says Donald Trump had the election stolen from him in 2020. I realize that Pierre Poilievre is maybe not exactly like those other leaders, but the people behind him are convinced that they're the ones who can tame this sort of populist anger. And frankly, I don't think it's going to go very well for them.
Investigative journalist Justin Ling, thank you very much for your time this evening.